Chi, we're concentrating a lot
You
on
mean
our
bacon when we do bacon?
we're concentrating a lot on our your leg
Uh
as
huh.
far as shifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then when we walk, do we really concentrate on that? Because I'm thinking of Dr. Painter. He calls it the rolling step, but and sometimes when I'm walking, I'll say walk fast with the rolling step. But you know what
Right.
I mean? I know you shift, but is it pointed out as much in a lot of places?
Well, it's kind of like practicing a fire drill. You're you're practicing the thing that will help you in real life, but a little more slowly. There's time for questions. You can read your notes. Maybe you're the teacher leading people through a fire drill, maybe. But you don't want everybody like running and you know dropping their phones in the sink and so the way things are practiced is not necessarily the speed it'll be done in the ordinary course of your life, but it's a wiser speed for us to onboard both the information and internalize or embody the concepts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and as with anything that is sort of higher stakes or crisis, you want to practice it when the gun's not loaded, when the car's not on fire, when you're not in a hurry, etc., so that you learn the skills. And then the, this is me saying this, I think the idea is that you retain enough of them to do better than average, right? Like you're not going to get an A plus on the test in real life. You're not going to get the foot quite right or the knee quite right. You're not going to keep your other hand here when you punch the guy. You're going to, but we practice with an eye towards 100%, like do it perfectly. You're leaving something out, pay better attention. Remember also to do this. But knowing that in real life, we've accumulated a higher, let's say, number of things to pay attention to, but the percentage of those things will be, let's say, fixed, let's say 40% of them. But as we accumulate a greater number of things, that 40% represents a greater number of things that we might expect you to do in a critical situation, right? So the lesson I think to take from, we walk very slowly and very attentively because we're learning to walk, right? But I don't walk that fast in real life. It'll take you 10 minutes to get to your car when it's time to leave. But one, you probably could walk slower more often and be less fixed on your destination and more fixed on where you are. But also, you're probably still going to move faster than we do in class. But then you're putting it to use. You're not learning it. You're not embodying it. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
also, when you go slower, it's much more of a workout.
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
that's a good
You're right.
point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just I think you get more power in your legs and your hips and your
And
core.
especially like walking on rough ground, I found, well, I think I told you in another class, it really helps. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? Like you said, you might have a
Well,
destination in mind,
Rick's
but you're still, making sure you go down, you know what I mean? And that you,
so Rick's point is that going slower, we are more likely to develop the strength and also the endurance to do those things, and those things serve us both in class and in, let's say, a faster real life thing. But real life is not only faster; it's more uneven. I'm not saying, okay, everybody, one more breath and then we'll start. You just have to walk when it's time to walk. And sometimes you have to walk fast because there's a bicyclist coming at you on the street, not looking, and you have to, and you're not going to do that step perfectly, but we don't want to do it so imperfectly that you pay a lasting cost, like roll your ankle or fall and hit your head or whatever it might be. And the uneven ground is an example where I would say it's an invitation to slow down and pay more attention because the stakes are higher literally just having this slight slope and some sticks and acorns is a higher stakes. We wouldn't probably high stakes as these things go, but it's higher stakes than if we're just on a floor that I mopped that morning and there's well lit and the building's insured. Like this is a little different. So it's an invitation to slow down, and it's an opportunity to harvest the fruits of that practice, which is that you're much less likely to trip and stumble on uneven ground, whether it's a carpet or whatever it might be, than the next person. And that's probably a pretty good description of why we do this in the first place, right? Yeah. So for me, what needs to be practiced is how to stand, how to shift, how to turn, and shift, how to pivot, and how to step. None of that sounds that interesting. Like, just get to the stepping and then tell me where we're going and why we're stepping that way and who I get to punch. Like that sounds way more interesting. I get it. But these are the things that don't get practiced enough. And that's just presuming we haven't taught you how to sit and stand up and sit down. Like I just started with standing. It's good to know how to sit, how to get up, how to get down, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that
Yeah,
address
totally.
that fairly?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So